My husband is HIV positive, and honestly, I don't know what to do anymore. I've been carrying this burden in my heart for weeks now, and I feel like I am losing my peace. I need advice because everyone around me is pressuring me, but deep down, I am confused. I was married to my husband for many years, and today we have 5 children together. Marriage was supposed to be a safe place, a place of love, support, and partnership. But for me, it becomes a place of pain, tears, and suffering. For years, I have endured things no woman should have to endure. My husband cheated constantly. Not once, not twice. It became a lifestyle for him. Different women, different lies, different excuses. At first, I tried to ignore because of my children. I kept telling myself maybe he would change, maybe things will get better. But they didn't. Instead, things got worse. The cheating was painful enough, but what broke me completely was the physical abuse. He started beating me, sometimes over small arguments, sometimes for no reason at all. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, asking God what I have done wrong. I sacrificed my happiness, I sacrificed my place, I sacrificed my youth. I stayed because of my kids. Every time I wanted to leave, I look at my children and change my mind. I don't want them to grow up without both parents. But 3 years ago, something inside me broke me. I got tired, tired of crying, tired of begging, tired of pretending. I looked at myself in the mirror one morning and barely recognized the woman staring at me. I was emotionally drained, mentally exhausted, physically broken. There was the day I made the hardest decision of my life. I left. Walking away was not easy. People thought living is simple, but they don't understand the emotional pain attached to it. I left my 5 children with him. That decision nearly destroyed me. But my children were already grown enough to understand things. My last baby was 10 years old then, so I knew they could at least communicate with me. Even after leaving, I remained in constant contact with my children. I called them every day, checked on them, prayed with them, encouraged them. I never stopped being that good mother. But even after I left, my husband did not change. In fact, according to my children, he became worse. He kept bringing different women into the house, different women coming in and out like it was normal. My children saw everything and it broke my heart. Sometimes my children would call me crying, Mommy, Daddy brought another woman into the house. Each time I heard those words, my heart shattered. I felt sorry for my kids. No child deserves that kind of environment. But life started changing for me. After leaving that marriage, I focused on rebuilding myself. It wasn't easy. I started from scratch. There were days I cried, days I doubted myself, days I wondered if I had made the right decision. But with time, things began to improve. I poured myself into my business. I worked hard, very hard. Slowly, my business started growing. For the first time in many years, I felt peace, real peace. I could sleep without fear. I could wake up without anxiety. I started smiling again and finally felt alive. Then something happened. Few weeks ago, my child called me and started sounding worried. Then their father had been seriously sick. They said he has been falling sick constantly. Weakness, frequent sickness, no strength. At first, I didn't think too much about it, but then it became serious. My children became scared and rushed him to the hospital. Doctors ran several tests, different tests. Everyone was waiting anxiously for the result. Then the results came out and the worst happened. He tested HIV positive. I froze when I heard it. I couldn't speak. My hands literally started shaking. I just sat down in silence. After everything, after all the cheating, after all the women, this was the result. I didn't even know what to feel: anger, pain, pity, or shock. I felt everything at once. Then came another problem. The beginning started. My children started pleading with me, Mommy, please come back. His siblings started calling me, his friends too. Everyone suddenly remembered me. The same people who stayed silent when I was suffering, the same people who watched me cry in that marriage, now they are all begging me to return. They keep saying things like, he needs you now. This is the time to forgive. You are his wife. Don't abandon him. Some are even calling me wicked. Wicked. That word hurts me deeply. Where were where were these people when I was being beaten? Where were they when he was humiliating me with countless women? Where were they when I cried days and nights? Nobody fought for me then. Nobody protected me. But now everyone wants me to return. I am doing well now. My business is growing. Finally, I have peace. Finally, I have stability. I don't need stress. I don't want to go back to that life. But at the same time, he is still the father of my children, and my children are begging me with tears. Every day they keep calling, Mommy, please think about it. Now I feel torn. Part of me wants to protect my peace. Another part of me feels guilty. I haven't even been able to sleep properly. I keep asking myself one question. Should I go back to a man who broke me simply because he is now sick, or I should choose myself for once? Honestly, I don't know what to do. The truth is, this situation has been weighing me down lately. Every single day, I feel like I am standing at a crossed road. No matter which direction I look, I feel pain. If I go back, if I risk losing my peace I fought so hard to regain. If I refuse, everyone paints me as heartless. And that is exactly what has been happening. The calls never stopped. Morning calls, afternoon calls, late night calls. His siblings kept calling. His friends too. Even some extended family members started reaching out. Some spoke calmly, some tried to emotionally manipulate me, others made me feel guilty. Some of his sisters called me one evening. One of his sisters called me one evening, her voice sounding serious. She said, please forgive everything he did to you. People make mistakes. He is sick now and needs care. Forgive everything and forget everything. I almost laughed. How do you forget years of pain? How do you forget humiliation? How do you forget abuse? I stayed silent for a moment before replying. Then I said, did any of you tell him to stop when he was beating me? Then she kept quiet and I continued. Did any of you stop him when he was bringing different women into the house? Silence again. She had no answer because deep down they all knew the truth. They failed me. I carried my pain alone. After the call ended, I sat quietly in my room. Memories I had buried started coming back again. Painful memories. Memory of nights I cried in silence. Memory of days I wore long sleeve just to hide bruises. Memory of pretending everything was okay in public while dying inside. I thought I had healed, but suddenly everything felt fresh again. That night I barely slept. Around 2 a.m., my phone rang again. It was my child. I quickly picked up because I knew something was wrong. Mommy, I could hear crying. Immediately my heart dropped. What happened? My child struggled to sleep. Then I heard the word that broke me. Mommy, daddy is asking for you. I became shocked and surprised. My heart started beating fast. What do you mean? He kept calling your name, my child said. I didn't know what to say. The room suddenly became quiet. Then my child said something that shocked me. He said, Mommy, daddy said he wants to apologize. Hey. And I said, apologize? Apologize for all those years? Apologize for all the pain? Now? I felt anger rising in me. Why now? Why do people wait until things fall apart before realizing they had made mistakes? Tears filled my eyes, but I refused to cry. I had cried enough because of that man. I asked quietly, how is he? And my child sighed deeply. He is getting weaker. That answer stayed with me. Weaker for the first time in a long time. Fear entered my heart. Not because I wanted him back, But because no matter what happened between us, this was still someone I once loved deeply. This was the man I built dreams with, the man I had 5 kids with, the man I once believed I would grow old with. Life is strange. Sometimes the same person who brought you to the deepest pain also carries memory of your happiest moment. The next morning, I couldn't focus on work. Even while attending to customers, my mind still kept drafting. I kept hearing my child's voice, Mommy, Daddy is asking for you. By afternoon, my eldest child called and said, Mommy, please, just come and see him. Hmm. Just come and see him. Simple words, but then felt heavy because I know seeing him would change something inside me. I had spent 3 years rebuilding myself, 3 years trying to heal. Was I ready to face him again? I don't answer immediately. My child continued, Mommy, he cries sometimes. That shocked me. My husband crying. Hey, I was so surprised to hear that he was crying. This was a man who barely showed emotions. A proud man, a very stubborn man. Hearing that he cried unsettled and surprised me. Then my child said something again. He said he wants to tell you something important. And then I became shocked and frowned my face. And I asked my child, something important like what? What could be so important now? I asked. Did he tell you what it is? And my child said no. That night I sat alone thinking. My mind was restless. Questions kept running through my head. Why does he suddenly want to see me? What does he want from me? Oh, because he's now sick, he suddenly remembers he wants to apologize to me. If he was still healthy and flaunting with other women, will he remember to apologize or to call me to see me? What if he had known about his condition for longer than everyone thinks? The next day, I summoned courage to go and see my ex-husband, just to see him and to tell him I've forgiven him for everything he did to me because he's now very sick. Not that I am going there to go and take care of him, or to go and become his nanny, because he did it by himself. He caused his own problem by himself. So this is the time for him to call those his ex-girlfriends, those his side chicks, to come and start taking care of him. So I went to his house the next day and I saw him, and his condition was really, really critical. Then I stayed for a few hours and wanted to go, and my kids started begging me. Even my in-laws started pleading with me to stay long. I made it clear to them that I cannot stay longer than this, that I have business I am running, and I can't just leave my business like that to come and stay with a man who has caused me pain. I told them to their face to tell their son to call his side chicks, the ladies who he has been cheating with me with, to come and take care of him, because this is the time for them to prove their love to him. They all looked at me as if I am a very wicked person, but honestly, I don't care. I have reached the point where I would choose myself over anything except from my children. But if it's for my ex-husband, I don't think I'm going to start suffering again just to make him happy. Then I left, and since then they've been calling me, his mother, his sisters has been calling me, telling me all kinds of words. So I need you to advise me, should I go back to him or I should stand on my decision?